Alright guys, it's Ira here, and a lot of people have been asking me, do I play any other classes apart from Warrior, Guardian and Thief? And I do. I've dabbled with Elementalist, Mercenary, Necromancer and Engineer. So today I'm going to bring you a build on my Necromancer. Now this build is not like the normal builds that you do find on Necros, and I'm going to be doing a lot of live commentaries with this build to help people understand it. Basically it's a build focused on leeching health. It's got nothing to do with like conditions really. It's just basically leeching health and draining health from the enemy. So I'm going to show you the build and give you an idea of what it's like. Anyway, this is just a couple of clips from a game that I played just a minute ago, as I was just getting warmed up again on my Necro, as I haven't played it that much. But anyway, let me know if you do like this build. If you do, like, favourite, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see Mesmer Elementalist, and I'll have some of that coming very soon also. So yeah, here comes my build. It's the Necromancer leeching build, and I'll speak to you guys very soon. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the build then. The build is Axe Warhorn and Dagger Warhorn. Now the main reason I like this build is because the huge melee damage that you do gain from having the dagger, the Siphon Life which heals for quite a good amount because you've got it traded and does decent damage, the Immobilize, the Daze and the Sprint for great mobility. On the Axe it's also got great damage from Ghastly Claws, it's got a slow and a decent ranged auto attack. Basically I'm using Consume Conditions as I feel it's the best heal at the moment. I have messed about with Summon Bloodfiend, but I can't seem to find it working with this build. I'm using Well of Corruption and Well of Suffering for huge AoE damage, and I'm also using Spectral Walk. Now you can swap Spectral Walk for many things. You can swap it for Signet of Undeath, Signet of the Locust, you could pretty much swap it for anything you want. But because I'm mainly playing this build in pugs and hot joins, I decided to use Spectral Walk as it's just such a fun ability to use. Now I'm using Plague Form just for survivability, but this build does work great with Lich Form or with a Flesh Golem. Both of these variants of ultimates are both very strong, and the Flesh Golem's great if you can stun someone in your wells. Now let's have a look at the traits and the runes and the other things that I've got. I'm using a Berserker Amulet with a Berserker Jewel. Now please note you can swap this around, it's just that I feel that this is strong enough for me to play with, so I do choose the Berserker Amulet and I do a great amount of damage with it. I've got around 3k attack, 44% crit and 50 critical damage, 1.8k armour and 23k health. So it's not got a lot of toughness, but the build has a ton of self healing and it doesn't have that much health for a Necro. So if you did feel a bit squishy, you could swap this for a Knight's Amulet, it wouldn't make too much of a difference. Now, let's have a look at my runes. Now I'm using Runes of Vampirism. I'm messing around with these runes. Basically they give me extra health. They give me the chance to steal health, but you can swap these out for many things such as Divinity, straight up Vitality or Precision if you changed your amulet. There's many things you can swap this with, but I just like using these runes and I find them pretty good because the whole build is based around stealing health from people. Now I'm using Superior Blood on both my main hand weapons because I like the drain health. I think it drains around 600 to 900 health, which is very strong, especially as I'm a leech build, remember, and I'm always critting. And I'm using Battle on both my Warhorns just to stack might up. Now this is personal preference. If you want, you could get the runes which steal health every time you swap to this weapon, which I was using and I probably might change to and try out sooner, because I don't feel that Battle's quite meshing with this build as I would have liked it to, so I might give it a go and try the you steal health on next attack on the Warhorns. Now the traits I'm using are 0, 20, 0, 20, 30. It's a very obscure build, and you can vary it. You can make this build a bit different by, instead of going 30 in the bottom, you can go 20 in this tree or 10 in this tree. Remember, this build is something I made. It's my own personal preference build. It's something I enjoy because I don't find the staff necro and the mark necro builds that enjoyable to play, to be honest. I feel like this build is more in your face, and this build has great 1v2 and 1v1 capability, unlike the other builds which kind of struggle unless you've got a very good position. You can play this build as an offensive roamer and have great fun in hot join or just tournament basic free play. Now in curses we've got 1% life force gain on critical hits. The reason I picked this is because this build relies heavily on life force, and a lot of life force is gained, a lot of life force is lost in this build. I'm using wild shoot ground targeting because they're the main source of my damage, and they do crazy damage when they do damage. I've got siphoning health, which basically increases the basically anything I do, like life siphon or stealing health, it basically increases the amount of health that I steal from people. I've got siphon health whenever I crit as well. It gives me around a 50 heal whenever I crit someone, and believe me, I crit a lot, so it's not like huge heal, but it's like 50 all the time, which I really like the idea of. It's like having permanent regen. In the bottom tree I've got life force drain slower. I've got move faster in Death Shroud because I'm using Death Shroud a lot. And I've got Death Shroud recharges quicker because I'm in and out of it all the time. As you'll notice, it's only a 5-second cooldown, which means basically you've always got access to it in a fight. So yeah guys, this is the basic build that I've been using of late. It's a really fun build to play. I would recommend you try it, though I would recommend that you change a few things around, maybe in the traits to pick maybe 10 points here, maybe 10 points here, and just pick a build that you decide. Though the basis of this build is basically to do great crit damage, and basically to drop your wows, like you'll immobilize someone in your wows and do a great ton of damage. It's a really fun build to play, and it really does have pretty strong survivability for what you're running in. I might even grab a Knight's Amulet and give it a go with a Knight's Amulet and even more leeching, because it's really funny to play when you're leeching that much health. So yeah, I'll speak to you guys very soon, and thank you for watching, and I'll have some gameplay on my Guardian tomorrow, and I'll have some other Elementalist, Mesmer or Necromancer gameplay over the weekend. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.